The Toltec also had a very carefully formed concept about the ultimate state of an embodied consciousness or a soul. And this image or ideal, this prototype in Christianity, we would say this is Jesus. In Buddhism, this would be Buddha. In Hindu, you have a couple of choices for what this ultimate state is, Shiva, etc. In some Native American cultures, this could be the Manitou or some other ideas. But in the Toltec view, this idealized being is Quetzalcoatl. And in Mayan, this is Kukulkan. And this is the ultimate self. So the archaeologists can look at this as some idea of a creator god, but to the mystics who are operating in the Toltec and the Nahuatl cultures, Quetzalcoatl is just a symbol for the idealized state, the state of balanced perfection, of self-realization that you're working in your transformation to obtain. So Quetzalcoatl is this blending together, the dragon with the wings, very much like the Kundalini force. This is Kukulkan or Quetzalcoatl, sort of this merging together of energies into a very refined way. And again, in other high cultures, you also see the same thing with the Ba and the Ka in the Egyptian cultures. Any true Toltec path, in addition to talking about the soul, is going to know about the powers and attributes of plants and animals. If this is a Toltec teacher and they can't tell you something about healing plants or working with plants, then they don't have a complete transmission. They don't have the complete message. Same thing regarding animals and aspects of animals, tuning into animals. Like Ted Andrews, he was a writer, wrote a lot of books, and he very much understood about animals and working with animals. In this slide, we have again Xochipilli, the god of flowers. This is at least from Aztec times, and Xochipilli, he's chilling out here, he's meditating, and who knows what's going on in his consciousness. All of these images are images of healing or psychoactive plants. So these guys understood. They were healers, shamans who worked with plants, not only for healing, but also for transformation, for tuning into different types of energies. And, these guys spent a lot of time working with this stuff. In fact, when the missionaries came over, there was, a huge misunderstanding because the Aztecs said, well, we can see God here through our mushroom. And, the guys from the other side of the planet, kind of were threatened by this. So we had to get rid of that, had to get rid of whatever their ways were. And it wasn't until the 1950s, 60s when Gordon Wasson and those folks went and rediscovered Maria Sabina that parts of this culture had persisted down through time. So understanding of the powers and attributes, both practically and spiritually, of plants and animals. At Teotihuacan, there are eagles all over the place. Very common theme in this culture. Eagles and vultures also very much in Egypt, and in the Andes, the condor. Andes also had the puma and the snake as representing three different levels of reality. And in Hinduism in India, there are all sorts of animals. The cow. Ganesha's mouse, Ganesh himself being a combination of, elephant and human features. So any true high spiritual path is going to understand the other parts of reality on this planet around us, is going to know how to interact with them. All right, talking about the Toltecs, very important theme here, along again with any high civilization, is transformation, and transformation through movement. Once you understand that the polarity of light and dark, yin and yang, exist, it's very hard to not get caught up in one or the other. And by that I mean, taking a path or a viewpoint of good versus evil, light versus darkness, all of these things. And as soon as you assign yourself to one absolute like that, then you get stuck. So this ability to combine these energies, and how you combine them is through movement. And these pictograms on the left-hand side here from Teotihuacan and from other codices, there's an excellent book that this is from called Burning Water, by Sojourn, who is a French archaeologist who lived in Mexico for a number of years. She studied this a lot, and her book is very excellent. So these all depict motion, these pictograms here, and motion by combining these polarities. And to make it clearer, on the right-hand side, the picture of this divinity who is going around, and he is moving, and you see his footprints. And these are in codices that are Toltec as well. Native American way, Sundance, different dances. What you're doing is you're blending these polarities together, and you're also awakening and moving spiritual energy both in yourself and in the land. Many other cultures, high spiritual cultures like the Sufis, the Mevlevi dancers, Rumi's gang, they understand how to use movement in order to transcend the apparent polarities of this dimension. All right. Any high civilization is going to understand the importance of the sun. On the left, the Aztec calendar. This is a depiction of the sun and different suns as different world ages. In the center, from the Codex Borgia, the lighting of the sun. And on the right-hand side, Mesopotamian, Babylonian, and Egyptian depictions of the importance of the sun. The sun has something to do with consciousness, with raising consciousness. Many people believe the sun is this huge spiritual being that is just here shining in order to help empower the development of consciousness on this planet. So any high civilization like the Toltecs is going to talk about the importance of the sun. Now, along with the sun goes other celestial components. The next primary one would be where we live, the earth. And the earth is typically going to be perceived as a goddess or as a personality, as a being, not as an abstract rock with, coincidentally life and water and all this stuff. No, it's a being that is here. So here's a depiction of Aztec or Nahuatl earth goddess, and earth goddess has a couple different forms in those cultures. Also, on the right-hand side, Gaia from the Greek culture, and in the Andes, you have Pachamama. You have all different forms and names for the earth goddess. So you have the sun, the earth, typically also understanding of the function of the moon, not just for tides, but how it affects consciousness as well as it goes through its cycles.